put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
You know, I don't know when that song actually ends. I tell you what, I could listen to it for quite a while. I like that little jingle jangle. Start the late night, the late show, whatever you want to call it. BMR, of course. Got my awesome friends joining me for this late night. It's midnight where I live, 11 o'clock in the central. I don't know. What is it? 9 o'clock in the Pacific. Wherever you are in the world, thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate it. We got a pretty cool show set up for you tonight. Thanks for coming on in. I'm just going to bring up the people one at a time. I'm going to go ladies first. The lovely Brandy.
Hey.
Of course, she's, of course, from the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast, found on YouTube Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday nights. 9 and 8 Central or Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for that. Hi, Bran.
Hi.
I'm going to bring up another lovely, the talented Monica Rollins.
Hey.
Our Paranormal World.
That's
that's not your channel. That's Texas Front Porch. We talked about that a little bit. We kidded you last night a little bit.
It's a constant kid.
And yeah, and I was just, the other day I was watching Texas Front Porch. I was watching your show at 11 o'clock in the East. I watched the replay because I was already sleeping. Thank you, Texas Front Porch. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Great way to
super sticker.
I said, who gave me the yellow? It was my buddy Tex. We'll bring him up in a minute. Thanks, Tex. So, Monica, yeah, so I caught the replay and you were sitting there and you did a great job, by the way. Nothing wrong.
Thank you.
But you're all by yourself. I'm like, man, you could have called me. If I'm up, I'll pop on and give you assistance. So, just let you know.
Funny, I got several DMs offering people's service if I'm ever alone again.
I don't know that I'm going to offer you a service, but I will come on and co-host the show.
Hosting services.
Yeah, there we go.
Services. Co-hosting services.
That's kind of the way I roll, Monica. I'm kind of weird that way with my little quips that just come off the top of my head from where I don't know. But yeah, so anytime I'll help you out. But you did a great job anyway. Go check out Monica on Thursday, 11 on Thursday night, Eastern Standard Savings Time. And of course, the one and only, text Weston. Yeah, and you're
What's
live.
up?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Well, now that Mr. Somber over there. It's like you gave me your last $20 or something. My God, you want it back?
Well, I might have, shit.
Yeah, well, it's too late. It's ready in the bank. Thank you so much for that.
Well, I can't think of a better person to give it to. If it was my wife.
I know you're joking, but thanks so much. So kind of you.
So how you doing, Rob? You're all pinked out, man.
Yeah, I am.
Where's that lovely shirt you're wearing there, buddy? And
Yeah,
look at that. Look at that. Is that not sharp looking?
The back says Blondes and Boo Bro.
No, it don't.
It does.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
How much you want to bet? I can't turn around. I'll get disconnected.
I would. You know what? I'll bet you. I'll bet you a steak dinner that's not what it says on the back.
What does it say? I know it says bro. I know it says bro, not babe, because Brandy's the girls say babe, the dudes say bro.
But it does not say. It does not say Blondes and Boo.
Probably not. I thought you were doing some advertising for him.
It says Bigfoot. It says Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Boo Bro.
Yeah, there you go, Tex. Thanks for reminding me. Thank you to Keith for that super chat.
Your shirt and your bandana bring out your eyes, according to JoJo.
Well, thank you, JoJo. How lovely of you. I do my best to have a nice appearance for everybody. In fact, I'm going to, I'm not going to say it right now.
Hey, you got, looky here.
Very nice. Keith. Thanks, Keith. Keith is a newer subscriber. He hails from Oakland County, Michigan.
If Rob's not going to say thank you, I will. Don't worry about it, bro.
To Janet?
And I have to say this right now. Melissa came up with a great thing on here. It says, so is this another discussion podcast tonight about food, cooking with creatures?
Yeah, it's a great idea for a podcast because, we all love our food.
Huh? Cooking and cryptids,
Cooking with cryptids, cooking and cryptids.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you what.
I'm kind of partial to cooking with critters.
Now that.
Well, yeah.
Well,
it sounds more edible than a cryptid. I don't think I want to eat a Dogman anytime soon.
I said cooking with.
Yeah, I was telling
cooking critters.
And I tell you what, I'd be willing to put money on if we all got together and did a show. I mean, who needs another show, right?
Yeah.
However, I think a cooking with cryptids show would probably take off. It probably
cooking
would.
with cryptids. I'm telling you.
Good idea.
Well,
you just film yourself cooking while you're talking about a cryptid.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow because I'm making some bread for Chris for Father's Day.
Ooh. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there coming up. Yes, well, to me, today it is Father's Day here where I live at midnight, a little after midnight. So for all you daddies out there. And, I hate to start the show on a somber note because the only reason I'm bringing this up because my buddy, our new buddy, Keith, who left an awesome super chat, hails from Oakland County. And my state of Michigan's crazy, you guys. We're talking backstage a little bit.
Melissa.
What? Cooking with cryptid. Yes, exactly. So we're just talking, we're not going to make this a discussion for this. This is just craziness in my state. Oakland County, beautiful day. I'm listening on my radio. I'm listening to a sports show like I typically do when I'm outside working around the yard. 8 kids, young kids between 4 and 12, mass shooting. 2 little boys, critical condition. The parents are covering and shielding their children, got picked off, so they're all in the hospital. Oh, and then the police tracked this guy down to where he lives, his trailer park. This is Rochester Hills, Keith, because I know you live out in Oakland County. And he, killed himself. Okay, fine, dandy. Boy, what this world, man. We talk about.
Well, at least he saved us the money and.
Yeah, we just had that one court case, Oxford, Michigan, where the kid murdered 11 kids. This is 3 years ago. life in prison for him. His parents got 20 years for being negligible parents, and that law was rewritten in the state of Michigan. You're now responsible for your kids' actions. If they commit a felony or crime, you can be also brought up on charges. So, which that's another show. That's another debate, which I don't think I'm 100% in agreement with. But I get it, especially with the magnitude of the murder. But yeah, I didn't want to, put everyone on a downer at here at midnight. But yeah, that's what happened here today, here in my great state, of course.
Well, I think if you don't, if you don't educate, if you got guns in the house, you don't educate your kids, and if you don't keep them locked up, you share the blame for sure.
Yeah.
I
think that was just most of that trial was pretty much what you said, Tex. But this psycho today, whatever. I mean, that's just, it goes on. It goes on. And so, yeah, enough of that. Just kind of bad news that I just saw. Just got off the news before I started the show here. So that's pretty terrible. And for the last time, because we talked about
Jojo.
We've talked about this ad nauseum over the last week. Today is actually, you guys realize this already? A week ago today, we were in Alabama drinking some chicken wings, eating some chicken wings or whatever. I
don't know what you had in Alabama, but it sounds horrible.
All right.
I don't remember what I had.
I really think
I had
Rob
chicken tacos.
Chicken wings. He really did.
I had chicken tacos actually.
I was playing pool with Mogollon Monster.
Yeah.
Nice.
Greg Ogles.
Yes, you were. We were all spread throughout, and I want to tell everybody that we met. Thanks. I thought it was cool, and then we can move on. I really thought it was cool that just about everybody at that conference was subscribers to our channel or followers, knew about us, and I thought that was really, I was really impressed with that. And so thank you for all that made that trip because we all had a pretty good time down there.
It was a good time. Good time.
Very good time indeed.
That's
all I'm going to say on that. Tex, go ahead.
Well, never mind. If that's all we're going to say about that.
No, you said, yeah. Get it
go
out.
ahead.
Tex, you started. I cut you off a little prematurely.
Yeah.
So to speak.
The whole conference thing, and I know people are probably tired of hearing about it, but damn, I had a good time.
Yeah.
I really did.
Okay, moving on. No, but yeah, absolutely. I had a great time.
All right, then.
They're usually fun.
No, Tex, I'm making fun. I'm joking with
We're
you.
all waiting.
We're ready for you to roll on, Tex. I was just giving you a little crap, and thank you for understanding.
So I have a little bit of weird news.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
Brown Springs is shut down.
Yeah, you said that today.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Now, I don't know what they mean by what high water. Is that what they said from the Red River?
Well, see, and that's just I haven't heard the official word. That's just what I got from a gentleman I was talking to, and but yeah, the main road to Brown Springs is barricaded off. So yeah, and see, I've been down there with when the river was, I mean, just damn near out of banks. I mean, we had a lot of rain, and I was down there just right before the conference, and it was muddy, but yeah. See, Corey says the river's not up high at all, and it's not.
Yeah, we haven't had that much rain around here.
Now, I will say this before I, jump on the whole conspiracy wagon here. We've had a lot of high wind, so it's possible that, and I always talk about the widowmakers that are out there. No, the cemetery is the highest point in Brown Springs.
It's up there. That's why we were always complaining, taking that walk, trying to get up there.
But in fact, if it flooded out, that's where I'd go. Maybe there's some trees down across the campsites, but see, that don't make any sense either. But I mean, if there was a bunch of trees down on the main road, maybe, I guess that would do it.
That's what I'm thinking that because they've been having storms rolling through there quite often.
But
And that area has been hit several times this season. And so that could be it, or they're trying to get, that extra brush or whatever has fallen out of the way to clean that up.
But according to what I heard, it's like the third time it's been shut down this year.
Really?
I'm wondering if they're having a human issue.
Yeah. The most dangerous cryptid. For those who don't know that you're new here, Brown Springs is Texas stomping ground for his research. For those that maybe don't know about Brown Springs,
it could be, if you want to go down this path, it could, because I do know those critters down there, they get on the move when the river gets up. The river's not up that high, but there are places to cross, I would imagine. But I do know they get on the move, and they will move to the Texas side if the water gets, if we're getting a lot of, storms and stuff, if we get a lot of rain. We went down there one time, and they were hooting and hollering over on the Texas side over there because the high ground's over on the Texas side.
Mm-hmm.
There was one lone critter over here on the Oklahoma side. Evidently, he didn't get the memo, but they were hollering back and forth across the river. So I don't know. I do not.
Okay, so the last time we were there was back in November.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember the river was up and it was high.
Yeah,
it was high there.
Yeah, and it was not shut down.
But the funny thing is we were getting the howls. Remember, we were hearing the howls, and it seemed like it was on the Texas side.
Yeah, because they go over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It may be, but it's very possible that it's not critter related at all. It maybe they're dealing with the tiger situation.
Possibly.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, that would be very helpful if they were. Be one less thing I had to worry about out there. That'd be nice.
I'm going to look into it and see what I can find out. But I heard that last night. So
and I would think
I was up there last night. I was going to go back in there and check things out, but the damn road was shut down. So,
well, I'm sure, Tex, you can plan out something. I know, since you know that place like the back of your hand, that you could probably find a way to kind of, maneuver your way back in there.
Well, the thing about it is, there's you drive through the wilderness management area, and then when you get past that, there are houses back there. When you get past that. So, but you can get to them the back way in. So, if they've got just that area shut down, it doesn't cut off any access to anybody. So, they could do that with no problem. But it's not like they were gardening or anything. They just had a barricade sitting in the middle of the road. But it's I've been running around out there since 2017, something like that. First time I'd ever seen it. I've never even seen. They had trees across the road going down to campsites, and they were not shut down. So, they had active fires burning down through there. They didn't shut it down. The river was, had been out of banks. They didn't shut it down. So I don't know. It's definitely
I think it's
odd.
I think it's odd, and I think I know that you're going to be all over that.
Yeah, I'm going to see what I can find out. I'm going to make a few phone calls next week.
For sure.
Absolutely. I would look into that, see what's actually happening, because if the water is still within the banks, then something else is going on.
Yeah. Now those are floodplains down through there. So, but
Yeah.
those floodplains have been flooded before. That's why they're there. I don't know. Or maybe the fields are flooded out and they just don't want to be pulling people out. And I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to get back here and look, and I can't.
Are they just regular barricades, or do they have like metal gates that close like they do in the national park?
No, it's just your average everyday road barricade. Nothing special about it. So I don't know.
That's weird.
Curious.
Yeah, I thought it was
barricades.
That's weird. That's strange.
Well, I mean, if they say conservation or if they just look like regular construction barricades, I mean,
it could be. Yeah, good. It shows 11:00. But I don't know. Well, Corey says he's going to go check now. He's up there on the red. So,
okay.
I can drive up there tomorrow.
Wow.
See, there
10
you go.
minutes from my house.
Just getting a plan into action. I like that.
That's right.
I like that thinking.
The investigation starts now.
The investigation is ongoing, right?
Yeah. Melissa asked, Texas, we keeping you up? Honestly, I was up till about 5:00 in the morning and went to bed. So my sleep schedule's all jacked up. I got to be at work 6:00 Monday.
Yeah, Tex, and much like Monica.
I ain't felt good last. We went out to dinner and I overdid it, and I hadn't felt 100%, but I'm all right.
But it's better to overdo it than underdo it. I mean, that's my motto.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't want to go home with regret.
You do not.
I went home with plenty of regret.
You don't want to look back and go, "What if?"
True.
And then it haunts you for the rest of your life.
Biggie Ferrero for Biggie Fergoro.
Yeah.
I am sorry for that. I am butchering that name.
Yeah.
But a happy Father's Day to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
for all you daddies out there.
Yeah. I was Janice's daddy at the conference.
You were her daddy. Yeah, you were. You were.
That didn't sound creepy at all.
Not a bit.
No. Anything you say is not creepy. I've grown accustomed to it. Maybe that's my fault, but you know what? We just roll. Speaking of creepy, we're about 23 minutes in. This is a creepy story. This is an account, actually, and this is what I loved about this is an emailer sent this in to me. A person follows all of us, by the way, as they made mention. But I had done a show with Karen Wilkinson, who is an author who wrote a book along with Marzulli, L.A. Marzulli, about alien abductions, possessions. So she was on the show. It's free in the archives, everybody, if you want to check that out. And also, about a week or two later, we had D.A. Weissong on talking about her book, which was another one of these alien abduction type, cases. And so the person watching the show was inspired to finally send this in. So I'm reading it and I'm like, wow, this is something that I'm going to have to do. Because it's got a lot of, it's just very, well, you guys will hear the story. I actually had put this out. I did a video on this 2 weeks ago. I don't know if anyone saw it, but if you did, that's again in my channel. So I think this is a good one for us to get the ball rolling and talk about a little bit. And this is about hybrid alien children, everybody.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this creeps me out already. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of the Giacano text. I know you're on mute. I forgot the dude's name that passed away. Who was on with you and Jason 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, it wasn't Chicano. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm just trying to remember.
Giovanni.
Well, I was close. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wrong
if you can remember, if you can remember back to that, maybe you can draw some parallels when I'm done, because I don't know. I don't remember.
Well,
much.
that's what popped in my head as soon as you said alien children.
Okay. Well, hybrid alien children, everybody. So I get to see, and this is from a young lady, a woman, which even makes it really more creepy. Young lady goes on to tell me that ever since the age of 5 years old, she started having these nightmares, reoccurring nightmares. Early on in childhood, she would get out of bed and, like all kids do, run to mom and dad's room, and like all moms and dads do, tell our children you're having a bad nightmare to appease us, to calm us down. And I get that. As parents, it's what happens, right? These dreams continued on into her 30s or 40s. But now, as she gets a little bit older, the dreams are getting more vivid, more pronounced, like she's actually in her own reality, awake. She always now remembers these dreams of always being in a room, and she sensed it was a ship, an airplane, some sort of aircraft, nothing of this world. It was all a boxed room, white walls with the bright lights. The reason she suggests that she thought she was on a spaceship because there was a handful of 4 to 5 alien grays surrounding her, and she's not laying on a gurney. She describes them as they're tall and slender, maybe 6 foot, big old, the bulbous eyes, the mouths that don't move is just a straight, line across where your mouth would be. And the scariest thing about while she's having these, well, she says dreams, is that there was one with some sort of instrument in its long, bony fingers, she would say, just really creepy. I mean, creeped me out. The description the person gave me was like, ugh, terrible, terrifying. Wrapped around this instrument, and this young woman knows that he's working down, experimenting in her private area, right? And she would always wake up. She went through she was married once or twice, divorced, because she would always wake up in the middle of the night with these nightmares. And I guess the men she was with just wrote her off. I don't know. Whatever. That's another backstory on that. I'm not going to get into that. So she did, however, through marriage, have 3 beautiful daughters. So she gotten that out of her marriage, at least having 3 kids. So one night, these dreams, they kind of stopped. And when I tell you this, everybody, the dreams had been going on and on and on for her life since 5 to her 30s. Not every day, but frequently, monthly for sure. But then for a month, they just stopped. And she was, kind of relieved, but she just thought it was so odd, right? On the back of her neck, she had noticed one day that she had like 12, these nodules, these nodes right on the back of her neck. Do you know what they were? Go sees a doctor. Doctors can't figure it out. They didn't remove them. They removed like 2 of them, but said they were too close to the spinal cord or they could cause some harm. But it wasn't cancer. It wasn't anything that would put her in jeopardy health-wise. But after the surgery, I guess they made a couple nasty scars, and I guess you could see these nodes, these nodules. So she continually has to keep her hair long because she's subconscious of her appearance on her neck. So it keeps her hair long, things of that nature. So again, though, you guys, the dreams stopped for a month or 2. She likes the fact that she don't have these terrifying continual nightmares. But she thought that was odd. She thought the nodules were odd. They kind of scared her. So one night she was paid a visit. And now she tells me she knows now for a fact she wasn't dreaming as she suspected all along. She's at the edge of her bed. And at the edge of the bed is one of those tall alien grays appears to her before she falls asleep in her bedroom. She's by herself, single, divorced, 3 kids, all grown by now, I believe, staring at her. And she recognized this alien gray as the same one that had the long, bony fingers with that apparatus working on her. She's paralyzed with fear, and she's awake. She's in her bedroom, not dreaming. In her mind, this thing communicates to her. Soon you will know what we've been doing. When you drift off to sleep tonight, you get your answers. She's like, how in the hell am I going to fall asleep? I just got visited by a damn alien in my bedroom. Yeah, I'm going to sleep all right. Well, whatever the case may be, she surprisingly did drift off to sleep, suspecting that the alien probably had something to do with it. She wakes up. Excuse me, falls asleep. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, and she wakes up in this dream, again, back on this craft, again on the gurney, again with all these aliens surrounding her. And now telepathically, the same one that paid her a visit at her house says, okay, you have served your purpose. And they went on and told her bluntly that she was being used as a host for their offspring, for creating these hybrid children. And her womb was used as an incubation center. And they told her that she had 12 that they removed, of which 2 didn't make it, whatever that means, and the other 10 are with the aliens on their planet, and there's 1 on Earth. And the alien also communicates to her that the 12 nodules that you had on the back, each nodule represented every kid that we took from you. Before she wakes up, the alien says, you will meet your hybrid child one day. I can't specify when, but you will meet her. A couple months go by. This young woman is in a restaurant. She's in the restaurant having dinner alone and sees this beautiful kitty corner table across from her. Beautiful blonde-haired young lady, big, beautiful blue eyes. Younger, probably about the same age as her daughters. And she looked a little odd, a little peculiar, just so beautiful and just glowing, right? And this woman got that maternal instinct. Like, I think, is this what that alien gray was referring to, that I'm going to meet my daughter? So she had instinctively, as a mom, thought that this was her kid. Maybe this is the place and the time and the moment. Young, beautiful girl gets up. The lady that wrote the article, or the email, excuse me, to send in to me, kind of watches her, gets up, follows this young lady into the bathroom. She's panicking, doesn't know what to do. Her palms are sweating. The young woman goes into a stall. Goes into the stall room door shuts. This lady now is in the bathroom, pacing back and forth, waiting for this young lady to emerge from the stall, right? Well, she says time goes by. It seemed like an hour, but it was only like 8, 9, 10 minutes, and thought, well, what's going on here? She went over, curiosity, says she pulls one of those, look down under the stall, see if she can see feet or anything. No feet, nothing in there. Then she just reluctantly tries to open the door. The door wasn't locked. It swung open. Girl vanishes. She's not there. Not in sight. There's no way she slipped past her. Nobody else was in the bathroom. And she obviously would not let her slip by her. We all know that one, right? Her eyes were fixated on that stall. So she leaves the the bathroom, goes back to her table, makes it to the table, looks around the table, her table. The girl's table has already been cleared of the plates, the dinnerware, whatever she was eating, gone. Asked around where that girl go. They just leave how she paid, cash, credit card. Nobody knew what she was talking about. No one said a word. Said we don't recall any customers sitting there of that description. Again, this lady now goes out to her car and she's just beside herself. She's upset because she now thinks that this is a strong connection here. And it was just so odd and strange that this young lady vanished out of nowhere. She falls asleep the very next day at night. Again, at the edge of her bed, the alien gray wakes her up. We're taking you back to the ship. Again, goes through the whole process of falling asleep, whatever spell she was put under, wakes up again on the ship. This time she's not laying on the gurney. She's sitting upright in a table, a big metal table, same room, same aliens are in there. Alien gray that's been communicating with her all this time says this: it's time to meet your child. So appearing in front of this young lady is the identical woman that you saw at the restaurant. And unlike the aliens, she didn't telepathically communicate with this woman. It verbalized, it spoke as I'm speaking now, as I'm speaking to everybody. Spoke to her. Hello, mother. I'm your child. This will be the last you see of me, but at least I wanted you to meet me. Said thank you. She woke up. To this day, this lady still has dreams. The dreams of her being operated on or experimented on are no longer, but she has dreams that she's somewhere else visiting, being paid visits by her child and her other children. Allegedly has 10 more out there. She was claimed, was told to her. But this is the one they said she would meet. She met him. And again, that was inspired by a couple shows I did. The person had to tell me that. And, I sad. I mean, let alone that's the first thing that pops in my mind to start the show, right? Is sadness. But so I don't know. That's where we're at. That was the that encounter, that experience. We've all heard of similar types of things, I know, since we've been doing this for quite a while now. But I don't know. Start out with you, Brandy. What's your thoughts?
Oh, it just creeps me out anyway. I just I don't like listening to these things because they're just like, I don't know. I mean, if she met the daughter in a restaurant, why didn't anybody see her?
Was she really there?
Right. Is she imagining this? Could it have been an apparition? Could it have been something else? I mean, could they have been projecting her, her to her, like here she is, let's just get the shock over with. So when we bring you back to the ship, then you'll know that it's her. I mean, there's just a whole lot of strangeness to that. I
never said this wouldn't be strange. It was like,
yeah, because you said that they took 2 nodules off.
Yeah. The surgeons, and they stopped. They said, look, took them off. They put them in. I guess did a biopsy. I guess.
And it was just regular human tissue.
She said no. I did not get she didn't write that, and I never asked back. I didn't think of that question, so I can't tell you the answer.
Yeah, I'd like to know what biopsy said.
But nodes.
Yeah,
right? No.
I would like to know if it's human tissue or if it was something of unknown origin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you're good. I mean, sharp enough to ask you that.
But of course, of all the experiments we've heard over the years of them doing on people, they could have spliced and diced and done all kinds of stuff to make human tissue appear normal. But if you were to test it, it would not be normal human tissue. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. That is so creepy. I don't know if I would have that maternal instinct to a hybrid. I don't know if that would. I don't know. I don't know if I would, or
Well, being that I'm not a woman and text can answer, I don't think I would have any connection. I don't think
I don't know if I
I don't think
would.
it'd be my son. If it was a
Mm-mm.
son from my, I would be probably horrified, to be honest with you.
Right. Because I mean, I see like like relatives, like you see a family and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, they're related. Look at them.
Yes.
I mean, they're related. But this girl here, she just said she was very beautiful, but there was something just not right. But she didn't recognize any of her traits, her facial traits or anything in this girl.
Well, if I did not say that in email, in what I told you, she recognized something about her looks similar to of her three daughters that she had prior. A similarity, but you wouldn't call them you couldn't outright call them siblings, though. Just a similar trait. Not like, an actual brother and sister that look kind of the same a lot of times, or very, very similar in appearance. Even the way they carry themselves. A lot of siblings carry themselves the same way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I now that I think about both my girls look like their dad. But my son, I can't deny him. He looks, he's got a lot of my traits, so I couldn't deny him. But my daughters, if you didn't really know what you were looking for, I guess you could say they're their own little separate person. They don't really look like their dad. They don't look like their mom, but they look like a little bit of both, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But they're their own person. So I mean that could have been a possibility. Sure. Mm. And Mickey makes a good point. She said, I couldn't imagine not having my child with me when they were little. But are these children normal, like regular human children? Do they grow up the same way? Do they have the same personality types? Do they have, or do they act like something weird and odd and not quite right?
It's always great about when you get these stories. Well, not so great when you don't get all the back information. I mean, it's, the person sends me 1,000 words that I got to try and make heads or tails of. That's another thing. And what I drive out of this, I'm very happy this lady did have 3 of her own kids, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That strikes me as something positive for her. But to be told that you had a hybrid alien kid, I mean, I think if everybody listening, isn't that hard to grasp? I mean, we all say Tex, you had that one show. I mean, and we hear these stories all the time, similar on UFO channels, right? Alien channels. We hear this quite a bit. Paranormal shows, but
Monica, what would you think if it were if they were saying this was your child? What would you think?
I would think I was hallucinating. I mean, honestly, I would. Like, it's all, or that I would not hallucinating, but dreaming or something. I mean, it's creepy for sure, right?
Yeah, because you don't. I don't think you would have that motherly bond. I mean, you didn't give birth to these children. You didn't
for 9 months, right?
Yeah, you didn't do that.
That's what's kind of. I mean, did they just take her eggs? Because I just can't see how she could have, incubated something for any duration of time not known.
You would be walking around with a little baby bump, would you not? If you actually have something growing inside you. That's the thing. I can't figure that out either.
I'm assuming they harvested her eggs.
That's what I would guess, right? So that's just.
And it sounds like she was chosen since she was very little, very small.
Right.
But here's the thing about this that I really give credit for on this, which I really tend to believe, is the fact that, hey, listen, I've told you guys before, I have recurring nightmares. I have part 1 and part 2 dreams. You guys know, I've told you guys that a lot.
Yeah.
But it didn't start with me at 5 years old through, 10, 20, 30, 40. The same stuff, the same exact dream on a gurney being worked on. and then all of a sudden, just to me, I mean,
Right.
that is the thing that something else was going on here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the part of the story, the encounter, the experience that I do hold on to as credible, and I just can't figure out the alien kid part or the nodes, like you guys mentioned about, hey, what was the diagnosis of the nodes? I just went in for a little minor thing. I had my arm taken off, and they send it off to tell you what it is. Any cancer is just a skin growth. Boom, now it's
Mhm.
gone.
Right. Yeah, anytime they remove anything, a mole or anything, they send it off, and get it and get it checked to make sure it's not cancer. But the thing about it is, well, first off, Two Shadows, thank you very much for gifting 5 new pirates. Arr.
Thank you, Stu.
Arr.
The show that we did with Giovanni's girlfriend, wife, I think legally, I think it was common law is what it was. And God rest his soul, he's passed now. But she had said that she had been pregnant with 12. And see, that's another thing that struck me. Why is it 12? Why is it always 12?
Is it 12 with
yeah.
Giovanni? Wow.
Yeah. 12 alien hybrid children. And what they did, according to her, was they would come down and impregnate her or abduct her and impregnate her. What I can't remember which way it was. And she would carry the fetus for, I believe, 10 weeks. And then they would either bring her up to the ship or go down, and then they would remove the baby and then finish the gestation on the ship. And then they would bring her up every so often so she could visit her children to the mothership.
Yeah, I'm good. You can keep them.
So
Yeah, I don't want to.
Come on, Monica. You want to see your kids?
Oh, not my alien hybrid kids. I'm good.
Well, and I'm thinking, you can go 100 ways or 1,000 ways with this, but I'm thinking that why they're doing this is to ensure that their species, race, whatever you'd like to call it, can integrate with humans and then keep their, to keep it alive, but to do it in a way that they won't be, noticed.
Right.
That's just to ensure their survival is what I would say.
Or it could be just infiltration.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I think.
Possibly.
They like I said, sleepers.
Yeah.
So, they raise these children up with their alien agenda and place them. Look at the adoption. I mean, if they could, if they can finagle stuff, they can get them into certain families.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you look at if you watch The Omen, that's what they did. They swapped him at birth and made sure that he ended up with that family. And then his rise through the political chain was exactly what they wanted to promote that agenda.
Yeah.
So we could be talking about the same thing. So,
well, we've always talked about them living in the ocean because we've talked about how much of the ocean has been unexplored and blah, blah, blah. But look at the instability of what the Earth is going through at this time. We got polar ice caps melting, all kinds of things melting, and maybe they're ready to come up out of that. I mean, maybe they're trying to move their way, topside so they can continue to live and thrive. They're just where they are. They're not being able to because they're probably going to get found eventually.
Well, and we don't know what kind of abilities these alien hybrid humans have. You
And
know,
here's the thing: this story aside, forget what I just.
and Rain, that's a good question. Sorry, Rob.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I'll just put it up. I started. I'll put it up for Rain. It's Rain asks or says. Is that the same one we're looking at? Text and
No,
maybe.
well, I was looking at another one. She said, "And who do they serve?" Well,
Okay.
we don't know. I mean, you know, it's all we can do is draw conclusions from what information we're given from people that have these encounters.
You know, yes, Tex. I'll ask you guys this question. It's like, let's just take this story experience out of the equation. Do you think that this happens? Do you think that there is a hybrid or an alien breeding program? But the question that I would always ask is this: why? If aliens are allegedly to be the superior over us, then we don't know that, right? I mean, I guess because they make cool spacecraft and they can go 90-degree angles at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I guess that's advanced technology. But what do we have that they need, right? They
Earth
just
resources.
Yeah.
Resources. And you got to think about this. Humans are just stupid enough to ruin the planet so they couldn't have it.
Yeah.
So
But they could also just come and wipe us out if they wanted to.
if they wanted to, but like I said, there's some people that are just stupid enough that we could destroy a bunch of resources very quickly. I mean, with with nuclear bombs and all of this other kind of stuff, we can take out a lot of stuff very quickly or make it unusable. So
well,
there is
and
that.
that may be if you're looking at the plus side of things. You know, if you're looking at the glass half full, maybe that is their agenda to keep us from doing that, and that's why they're implanting these, you know, these people that you know, to guide us. I don't know.
Well, they better step
I don't
on
know,
it.
but they,
Some
if
sketchy
that's the
people.
case, they need to hurry up.
Yeah.
Just saying they need to hurry up.
Some
We need
sketchy
some
people
help.
with code.
brains to replace Homo sapiens sapiens. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Well, and Mickey, I'm sorry I'm sorry for your loss. There's nothing we can say. I mean, she lost a child at 20 weeks, and you know,
sorry.
anytime you lose a child, I don't care if it's 1 week or 20 years.
Hmm.
Yes, Mickey, heart goes out to you. I didn't know that, and I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Figgy brings up a pretty good point here, you guys. I find this fascinating. We have the blood of God, and aliens don't.
Well,
We have
yeah,
We have a
because
soul. We have souls, right? Allegedly, I believe we do. Does an alien?
well,
Maybe that's what they want to experiment on.
well, and I mean, if we want to go down that road, the Bible says that God, and I had this conversation with Jason. The Bible says that He created us in His image, God.
Right.
Okay, but nowhere does it say that He created others that weren't in His image. Now,
And it says
depending on
that
how
he
you
created the universe.
right, and depending on how you interpret the Bible, that is either physical image or the fact that we have a soul and others don't.
Right.
So, you know, it all comes down to belief, honestly,
Right.
and your faith. So it's like, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe they're aliens at all, and they are, demonic forces,
Right.
or fallen angels, So what do you do with that?
I mean, you really do have to follow your religion on that. I would guess, because there's a lot left to interpretation when it comes to a lot of things like cryptids and aliens and things like that. There's a
Right.
lot that is wide open in the Bible, because we don't get a really good explanation of what we are seeing.
Well, I'm of the mind that He didn't tell us everything because we couldn't handle it. Okay.
Probably so.
He told us what he wanted us to know, and that was it. You know.
Hmm.
But he did make us curious for a reason.
He did. I do believe that I believe other planets do exist, but I do believe there's life on other planets, aliens, and as far as they found microbes, for God's sakes, it's like alien type of life, right? But alien grays, okay, that's the most popular one. So you're saying a lot of people. Are there people that say that God created those as well? And if not, where did they evolve from? Because I do have to believe that a race of species outside of human beings has to exist. It doesn't have to. I believe that is because the galaxy is so vast, it's infinite. There are so many things we haven't explored, much like the oceans as far as that goes. We haven't explored, we haven't been to the depths of the oceans. There's got to be more than just the human species. There's got to be, I think there's a socialized culture out there somewhere. We just haven't
Well,
come across it.
I believe it was said best. I think it was the movie The Arrival that the father's out there with the telescope with his daughter, and she asked about intelligent life, other life or whatever, and he says, "Well, if it's not, it's a lot of wasted space," and it's maybe at the time. I think we'll find out things in due time if we're meant to find them out. But there's a reason that we were given curiosity, and there's a reason we were given free will. Okay, so we have the choice. The choice is ours. So do we know what these things? We as average people do not know what these things are. Do I think there's people in the know? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Eisenhower, meeting with them and other presidents and making deals with them and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't think. Why are they scrambling jets when things are seen, but not every time? Evidently, to me, that tells me that they worry about some and they don't about others. So that tells me that they know more than they're letting on, of course. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. What they are, I don't know. I have no idea. But I do think they had to be created, and God said He created everything, good and bad. He created.
That's what I said. There's a lot left open there.
Yeah. So
now, whether He gave him a soul or whatever happened there, we don't know. I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Maybe that's the hidden agenda. Maybe if they cross with humans, they get the soul.
Yeah, creepy.
So that could be how they're getting their, not only infiltrating the population, but infiltrating that other side of things too. Maybe they realize they don't have souls.
All right, Monica, I see you. She's smiling. She's got something to say.
Yeah, I like Monica because Monica carefully thinks things out.
Well, I mean, I have my own thoughts, and it is not in line with a lot of people.
Well, you know what?
Hey, that's all right. That's why we're here.
That's why we do this. You can feel free to say whatever you like.
You're in a safe place, Mom.
Yeah, it's like, feel free to open my eyes, Monica.
Please.
Well, I mean, it's just personal belief. I mean,
yeah,
I do think, right, and I wouldn't say believe, but I do think that what we consider God, right, is an alien. I mean, that's what I think. It's alien intelligence. That's what I think.
Well, I mean
that's the long and the short of it.
Well, technically, He's not of this world, so he is extraterrestrial.
Well, no, I mean like what we would consider like an alien, like not getting overly philosophical about it. I think.
So you think it's possible that well, if he didn't create us, well, that would explain the tall Nordic.
It would explain a lot of things.
That would explain the immaculate conception.
Yeah. They're down here fiddling with our DNA, right? Who says they weren't doing that before when they created all the life on this planet?
Yeah. It kind of answers a good question, because I was going to ask Tex, if you believe that God created the human race, then who created the alien? The God, or is there another alien, which could be the alien of the master of the world, which is crazy thinking. But Monica, I think your point is definitely something to think about. I didn't really think about it.
It definitely is. I mean, I never thought of it that way.
No, me either. I've like it, Monica. I like it, Monica.
My whole life, I've thought of it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, I really could. I could see that. I absolutely could. But like Tex said, it all comes down to what you believe and what your thoughts are and what your belief is. And my gosh, that is a different way. I never thought of it that way. Now that's going to make me stay up all night and think about that.
Well, it is. Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, now I've got more things to think about, and even Tex, what you said about God created good and evil, or good and bad, you said. Well, right. Yeah, I guess. But if you go back, see, that's what I mean. I don't read enough of the Bible, because a lot of answers are probably, or a lot of, I won't say answers, but there's a lot of it's a good tool to use. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that, because that's the way I roll with those.
I take it as a guide to not be a jerk.
Yeah. There you go.
That's it was a very simple way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go on the premise that God gave us all the choice to make, right? Because if you believe in Adam and Eve, the choice was made. That evil Eve seduced Adam into biting the apple. Then sin. That was the first sin, right?
Well, yeah, but she was also seduced
by the serpent,
by the snake.
By the snake. It's the whole Star Wars thing: being seduced by the dark side, having knowledge that you're not supposed to have.
It really is.
By the serpent.
So.
And see, I don't like snakes anyway. So I always use the term, there's no good snake like a dead snake, and the Bible told me that.
So maybe the snake is the draconians, right? It's the snake.
Yeah.
Well, there is that theory out there. There is that, because serpent is not through the translations and all this kind of stuff, back in the day, it didn't. A lot of people do not believe it meant an actual snake.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
it's a snake in the grass.
Could it have been the reptilians?
Right.
And
Maggie, the medical, she's right. That is the medical symbol is snakes.
And sometimes I can't agree more. It should be snakes.
Well, no. That should be. It should definitely be the sign for lawyers. I mean, but
Dr. Fauci,
our politicians, but let me throw this at you. Well, like I said a while ago, God created everything, good and bad. Okay, perception is reality. Okay, we know that, and a lot of people considered, like Brandy, you said you don't like snakes. Are snakes bad?
Not necessarily.
Well, you said only good snake's a dead snake.
To me.
But see, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. When I walk up on them, they're not good to me. No.
You ask Jason, spiders are bad.
Them too. I don't like them either.
Yeah.
But everything has its place and its purpose. And just because we consider it bad doesn't mean it's not, and it doesn't have a purpose in the circle of life, to say,
Right.
I've seen people, I've watched these videos of these, nature just taking its course, and nature is, if nothing else, it's brutal. And some people can't stand to watch nature take its course. People that watch these videos, that see these videos of, these say a crocodile taking down, grabbing that young baboon, and the mother trying to beat the crocodile off the baboon, and the whole tribe, attacking, and all this kind of stuff. It's hard for us to watch because we are soft-hearted, but it is part of life. It doesn't mean the crocodile's evil. Now, when you start talking about people taking other people's lives, is anybody that takes somebody's life evil?
Depends on the circumstance, I would say.
See, there you go. It depends on the circumstance. in the way we try to view things. That's why everybody's divided on, not straight down the middle, but that's why you have the debates on the death penalty. That's why you have, debates on gun laws. That's why, because are guns bad? A lot of people believe they are, although it's not a gun. In my mind, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah. It's a tool, just like a fork. Forks don't make people fat, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but it goes back like what I said a while ago. Perception is reality. So what's evil or bad to one person may not be to another.
That's a very good point.
And Prospecting USA says, what is the purpose of mosquitoes? I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things that I wonder about their purpose. What in the hell good does a scorpion do? Okay. But just because it was put on here and it has, everything has to have a way to live. All right. Everything has to have its own circle of life. And here's one for mosquitoes. That is nature's own population control because they spread disease. Okay. So there's that. What purpose does the little catfish in the Amazon that swims up your urethra serve?
Well, not mine.
Those are all created by Satan.
Well, and see, that's what I'm saying. It's we could sit here and talk about this all night.
We could. Riker really quick says scorpions can be used as food for some critters.
Well, so can mosquitoes. Bats eat them.
Yeah,
bats eat them all the time. I love bats.
Yeah. So, it goes right back to what I was saying. Circle of life.
I think everything in this planet serves a purpose or has some function, whether it's right or wrong or good or bad.
And we found out the hard way when you hunt wolves to extinction, you upset the ecosystem. That's just an example. I mean, look what we did to the buffalo. I mean, good grief. And so, with the latest thing, I think, was the bees. We lose the bees, we're done.
Oh, yeah, we're screwed.
Yeah.
I did hear recently they're making a comeback, but a lot of people, they're allergic to bees. One bee stick kills somebody. So are bees bad? Well, they're necessary. Are they a necessary evil? So things that hurt you are they bad or are they just necessary evils? Like a president.
That's a construct. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a slippery slope, and I'm glad we kind of talked about this. We could talk about this for nauseum. We could probably plan a show and get some bullet points to talk about. The insects, really quickly. This is kind of current events. Since before I get on and tell you a little bit about this dog man. Did you guys hear on the East Coast, coming from Asia, I believe it is, that there are now flying spiders that
Nope.
are the
Yep.
size of your hand, 4-inch long legs. They
What do
spin
they call that?
web. Yeah, they spin webs in the air, you guys, and they fly via the webs being spun in the air.
Okay, that's nothing
Spiders
new.
do that though.
That's nothing new. Watch
But it's
Charlotte.
coming to the United States. They said it. Well,
They do them here in the U.S.
Yeah, they've been.
But they're small.
yeah,
That's
but
how-
these things are like big.
No, I know.
Well,
Yeah, I've seen
big,
them.
little doesn't matter.
Well, I never
they've been
heard
doing
it.
that. Yeah, I mean,
They're all over the East Coast.
well,
Yes, that's where they're in.
like
right
I
now.
said, read or watch Charlotte's Web.
Maybe
how
one
the
will spell
babies-
messages out for you.
Go get new homes. They all.
But they're called the Jordo. I don't know, something strange. But I'm like, that's a very odd name for a nasty looking spider.
Well, it looks like a golden orb weaver to me.
It does to me too. Just a little more intricate, with its pattern.
I mean, it's
I
a little
don't
more
need another
solid in color.
spider.
Yeah.
I don't need one.
Yeah, we don't need any more. Like you can.
No,
keep your
I'm already in
spiders,
Black
Asia.
Widow and Brown Recluse country. I do not need another one. And I already have the garden spiders, which are the banana spiders or whatever you want to call them, those big black and yellow ones. I already have those out there. They don't bother me. I just leave them up. I think they're kind of cool because they do these big webs and they take care of the mosquitoes out here that are size of birds. So it's good. They're fine. I can handle them.
I'm not that bad with spiders. I used to play with spiders and ants as a little kid. Me and my brother would purposely throw ants and spider webs just to watch the spider get it. Then we would put them in jars and make them all fight.
Evil.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, very
evil.
It's a sign of a serial
I
killer.
think you're onto something there, Monica.
Come on, you did not capture ants and put them in a thing with a spider and see what
I
the
used to
outcome would
capture
be.
snakes and
Oh,
throw
so
them
you're
on my cousin.
That's one step ahead of me, girl.
I did. I'm surprised my sister didn't kill me when I did this. Being a bored little teenage kid, I'd caught I either found or killed a big snake. It was about 4 feet long, and my sister had, like, and y'all have heard me talk about it. She lived about 40, 50 yards away from us on the same property. And she, all the time going back and forth, right? And she'd come over to the house and like I said, we lived in a trailer. And so I had this snake and I tied it on the end of my fishing rod, and I went in just over on the side of the back porch, and then I went to the other end of the house, and I could hear my sister walking in the hallway, so I knew she was leaving. So I start reeling this snake in, and just about the time she opens the door, I pull it across the back porch steps, and she freaks out. My dad, she starts hollering, runs down the hallway into the living room, starts hollering and everything, and my dad's about half drunk and half asleep. He gets up, comes out with his gun, and here I am standing in the backyard, leaning on my fishing pole with this snake hanging off the end of it, laughing my ass off. And I'm surprised my dad didn't put a load of buckshot in my ass, because he was not a happy camper. My sister wasn't either.
Oh my gosh, that's way worse than I did. I used to get the snakes and put them in buckets, and then I'd knock on my cousin's door and throw the snake on him when he opened the door.
I caught a bat one time with a fishing pole.
Oh, nah, I ain't messing with these.
We had bat, we had the booger light outside, and like I said, bored teenage kid. So I put a little jig on my rod and reel, and I was watching these bats dive at these bugs, right? So I started throwing it up in the air, casting it up in the air, and watching them dive and hit it, right? Well, I never expected one to get hooked.
Oh.
I didn't know what the hell to do with it.
That would be interesting to have a bat at the end of your fishing pole flying around. You can control them like a kite. You can control them like a kite, right?
I want to work. There's this video that's been out for a long time. It's a rehab center for wildlife, and they have a flying fox.
Oh, yeah.
Rehab facility that's elderly, and this lady has to hold it and walk it around the room like it's, to make it feel like it. Oh my gosh, I want to rehab flying foxes. They're so cute.
I really admire people that rehab those animals.
Any animal, yeah.
We have a facility not too far from here, and we also William Lunsford, Tex has been on many times. That's what he does. He does that as well. He's a good guy, and we've got several around here. I remember as a little boy, we found a little baby robin. And I remember my dad. We had he got it because we used to have a lot of big cat. Well, we still have a cat problem where I live, and I'm not talking big cats. Not lynx, not fox. We have domestic cats that are wild. They're just
feral cats.
They run amok around here, and they would always get the birds.
Yeah.
So we always had these robins that would always fall out in the backyard. Blue jays, cardinals, lots of pretty, beautiful birds. So my dad, I remember all the time, would always get them and do the best he can to keep them safe. Because the mama birds were not around. The mamas always got killed, it seemed, So I remember as a young kid growing up, I thought that was cool that my dad did that, and I got a lot of friends that are into that. So that's always a good thing what people do out there. And I love the people who do the animal rescue shelters, units, and things like that. So it's a good thing. Glad you brought that up. I like that. Brought me back to the day.
I want y'all's opinion on something.
Yes, Tex.
I made something, and I want y'all's opinion on. I made a new intro for the True Crime Show.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
So we get to debut it?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Let's check it out, Tex.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
First thing that came to mind was Michael Myers. Very creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
Biker walking through the woods, but
well, yeah, I mean, hey, very creepy.
That was creepy.
Yeah,
it was very creepy.
Be better if he was dragging a body or something.
Yeah, carrying a big old duffel bag, body
well,
size.
If you watch, he comes up out of the ground.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. No, you're creepy. I don't know about dragging the body, Monica, although I like the idea. I don't know, the YouTube might flag him. You can't show a similar.
Well, you can't see it either.
Right.
Like I said,
How about you're burying something? How about somebody in the background, like shoveling, like digging ditches in the background? Prove I'm burying a body. It's a ditch.
The grave digger, yet he doesn't do that by trade.
I don't know. It could be a lot of things, But yeah, it's pretty creepy, I would say. It's creepy.
It is creepy.
Definitely stalker-ish.
Stalkers. I do like that text. That is pretty
I
sweet.
mean, yeah, that's not what I'd want to see while I'm hiding out in the woods.
That don't
Nope.
want
Or you're walking home alone.
Right.
tell you what that will do, text. That'll keep me tuned in to true crime with yourself and Miss Diva. Not that I'm never not tuned in, but yeah, I would. It grabs my attention immediately, which is what you want to lure in the crowd.
Yeah, we're talking about. We're going to talk about Tony. Well, it's spelled Alamo, but he pronounces it different, or he did. He's dead now, but and him and his wife's cult little teaser of what the kind of stuff that they went off the deep end and
weren't they the ones that started their little cult thing in a house? They were with college kids, wasn't it? They started off with college kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
His wife died, and they had her laying in state, and people praying 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 months.
Oh my God.
For her to rise from the dead.
Oh.
Wow.
So when she started putrefying it and get that it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean they let her sit there and decay.
He blamed it on everybody for not praying enough. And then, he got, of course, it went into the, I am God, or, and it's okay for me to marry underage women and, all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be an interesting show tomorrow.
This would be interesting.
Tony Alamo was what he said. Tony Alamo.
Yeah, I can't remember the story, but I know that they both started off as sort of like gold diggers. Like they
were both drifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. They it was a match made in hell, that's for sure.
It was. And I know about that story, and geez. Nope.
Yes.
Is there a cult that isn't just completely batshit crazy? Is there one?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
No, there isn't.
No, and it's I don't know. It's like they're all used car salesmen. They're running this line on people, and I'm like, how are you buying that?
Oh, the number of lemmings in this world that follow these cult leaders is astonishing. What kills me is sometimes it's not even like, you think it's a weak-minded person. It's not. It's not always. There's some very intelligent people that fall for this crap.
Yeah. Look at the people that are wrapped up in Scientology.
Oh
God. Yeah.
I can't even. I think there's only a few people that have spoken out on Scientology after leaving.
Yeah.
They're brave.
Yeah, there's only a few people. There's a bunch of them that don't say a word about it. I mean, check out Nicole Kidman. She doesn't say nothing.
Right.
Or, other Tom Cruise's other wife. What's her name?
Katie.
Katie. Right. And she doesn't say anything about it.
What's that? She was on King of Queens.
Yeah, Lisa Remini.
Yeah. She was very outspoken, and they tried to destroy her.
Oh, sure. Yep. I mean, they got a lot of money.
Yeah,
money.
Because they buy their way into heaven. They buy their way into heaven. Monica left.
No, I'm here. I got to move around.
She's moving around. Well, I'm gonna roll on with this Dogman story. It's not as long as the first one. I thought the Alien was awesome. I think it's good to mix our stuff up, right? And hey, got a lot of good positive feedback on it. And Monica taught me something today about our creator.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I love it. That's why we do these. Hey, anything goes here. I kind of
I'm
like
in a safe
this.
space.
I kind of yeah. Yeah. I kind of like this because this is a Dogman encounter in Michigan. It's from Wexford, Michigan, where I really like it. As Tex knows, most of you guys know Wexford, Michigan is, of course, they say the alleged Dogman capital of the state of Michigan. And Wexford County is also the county where I had my encounter with the creature I saw, right? And this is kind of unusual. This isn't like, we're not talking about hybrid babies here. This is I'm bringing us down and back to our planet a little bit here, even though I did a dimensional Dogman show story earlier today. But this is here in my state. Tell me what you think. So this guy, Wexford, Michigan, he found a set of oversized 3 and 4-toed tracks, right? That led from back of his shed, back of his house to the wood line. And again, he said there were 3 to 4-toed, variety of shapes, sizes. A lot of them were extremely big. And some he could notice that the flanges of the fingers, where the fingers allegedly would be like, you could tell it was like a longer claws. And he's, what in the world type of animal is this? Now, this guy knows nothing about cryptids, Dogman. It was just some weird species. And so, and it was prowling about his property. Never seen it physically, but seen these tracks. So one morning he decides to get out and go investigate and follow the footprints, the tracks back into the woods. And so he does. After trekking through the wood line, and he makes mention too that he also had property north of Wexford, Michigan, that he bought for the sole purpose of hunting. So he's telling me, hey, Rob, it's strange as I'm going to say this. I've lived here for several years, but never ventured into my own personal woods right in my backyard. I just always spent my time in the woods at my hunting property. So he says, so yeah, for whatever reason, these tracks got me to thinking, and I'm going to go follow whatever this is. So he tells me he comes up to this structure. No, not an X like Bigfoot. And the way when I started reading this, it almost reminded me of maybe Deadfall, how that creates all these igloos. We've seen it's so hard to differentiate, between an actual created one and not. But this guy was telling me that this thing was about 6 foot tall, maybe about 8 foot wide. And he knew it wasn't deadfall because on the outside it looked like it was interwoven. And then there was an opening in the back side of this structure, and he went inside here. Okay, went inside, and he could see inside it was interwoven. It says meticulously put together. And he also made mention that it looked like there was some sort of mud that was used, to kind of act as a cement. He's saying, wow, this is pretty cool. He's saying some person did this, put this together. Some kids, some very ingenious kids made a true fort. Which, yeah, I made forts in the woods growing up too. Then he says he starts goofing around because he followed the tracks out. They kind of ended, and then he went on without finding any more tracks. He lost his trail. But then he says, hey, Rob, inside this. So he looks down, he noticed those 3-toed, those 4-toed tracks were inside this. And then he smells this really foul, pungent odor coming from inside this thing. And then he notices inside of the structure, there's an opening in the like a little tunnel, an opening that looked to be dug out. He didn't dare stick his head down there, but he kind of looked in. He says it was actually frankly big enough for him to crawl through. And this guy says he's like 6 foot tall, and he had space to walk inside of this structure. But that pungent, that foul odor even got worse and worse, emanating from the tunnel that which got inside and encompassed the inside of this structure. So he thought that was like, wow, this is something. He thought maybe it was a dead carcass, but he couldn't really quite determine what the smell was. Something, it's an unusual odor for himself. So doesn't find or see anything outside of this crazy structure and these prints, so he goes back home. Now he says as he's walking back home, and we've all heard this before, you guys. It's almost ad nauseum how many times we hear this. He had the feeling that something was following him, some animal, some predator. Can't see, looks around, can't see nothing. In fact, he can see as he's going traversing through the trail back to his house, he heard something paralleling him, and every time he stopped to look, well, the parallel walking stopped. He says he thinks at first was a panther or a cougar, which we really don't have in the state of Michigan. So he thought, what can this be? But it was, to him, it was something on four legs. He thought perhaps it was a bear, which makes sense. We do have a couple bears in Wexford, small population. So continues on. He gets this creepy feeling and gets back to his house. Goes to bed the night. Next morning, he wakes up and he found it very odd that there was more fresh tracks, the three-toed, the four-toed tracks, some with elongated flanges with like claws appear to be all around this property. And again, it was back in his shed. So and this is early in the morning, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. So he gets up, he opens his shed door, and that pungent smell was really profound inside his shed now, much like the pungent smell inside of the cave or the structure that came up from that tunnel or whatever. Very, very pronounced. And then he looks down inside his shed. He says it was weird because the shed was closed. It wasn't locked, but it was closed. There's a handle. So to get in, you have to open the handle, right? Going through, looking around. And he had a shed that kind of went like an L, he says. It was straight. Then you veer off to the right. There was another storage area. And he sees these tracks. He follows the tracks through this shed, and he veers off to the right. And there, he says, Rob is sitting a dead carcass of a deer, tore, mangled, shredded all pieces. He goes, did a bear? He's thinking, how does a bear do something like this? Why would it? It can't open the door for one, and these aren't bear tracks for two. And who does this? But he says the thing that really freaked me out the worst was this. Almost strategically placed was the deer's severed head put up on top of a refrigerator in the shed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Immediately turns around and runs out of there. Runs out of the shed. And as he's running out of the shed, this howling comes from the wood line, and he sees a wolf, big old wolf. This is not gonna be your typical standing up werewolf. It was a big wolf on four legs standing there. Couldn't tell me if it got up on two legs or not because he was scared. He ran in to get his rifle. The creature, the wolf, whatever it was gone by the time he got back out with his weapon. Went to the tree line, followed the tracks, and sure enough, same types of tracks led back into the woods. And all of a sudden, boom, he lost the trail. And that was that. So that was a short and easy one, but what the hell? I can't say that's a Dogman, you guys.
Yeah.
But I can also say that we have no wolves here either. Misidentification of a bear, maybe? I think it's odd about how you opened the shed, and those tracks seem unusual. The pungent smell in the shack or the shed matched up with that structure, right? So I don't know. That was again. I found that to be kind of a refreshing, although creepy, with the deer, because it wasn't one of these that came out of the walls and it came from a planet, Zebulon. It was just a cool, alleged or possible cryptid of some sort, I would imagine. Tex, comes to your mind?
When we start talking about this kind of stuff and now he opened the shed and you're not very far away from whatever you're seeing.
Yeah.
Right. Did you say it was daylight or dark when this happened?
In the morning, when he went into his shed and found the dead deer, it was daylight, about 8 in the morning.
Okay. So I find it odd that if it was a bear that, I don't know. I say that, but man, there's just a lot of questions I would have to ask the guy. Was the door self-closing? Was the door closed? Was it open? Was the deer fed on? Was it just killed? Was it,
really
just a mountain of questions?
Just a couple of those brief questions. Again, the handle was one of those from what I recall, it's just when it slide. It's on one. It just slides down and it goes over a bracket type thing.
Okay.
Where I could see a bear taking his paw, and you could probably knock it off.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's possible. I mean,
They could open that.
Do that.
No doubt.
They have that ability. And the deer was not fed on. It was mangled, ripped to shreds. But the thing about it is, you need to have hands. But first of all, why would you put the severed head on top of the refrigerator? Don't you need hands with opposable thumbs to place it up there? I mean, that's the odd part.
Not necessarily. If the bear's tall enough, he could just reach up and just drop it up there with his mouth.
Well,
but why? That's the big question.
That's what makes the creepy part of it is why. No animal I know does that.
But did the bear walk in there, place it down, walk out, open the door to get out, and then turn around and shut the door and lock it back behind itself?
But those doors can be self-locking. But with the bear if a bear figured out how to open the door from the inside and the outside, okay. And was there anything? And there was a refrigerator, and the bear didn't go through the refrigerator.
Well, yeah,
because that's why they tear insulation apart, because it smells like termites.
Mm-hmm.
And they tear those things. That's why they tear coolers and stuff up and houses and refrigerators, because they're trying to get to the insulation. They think there's termites in there. That's all it is. So was anything tore up like that, man? I'm just telling you, there's a lot of questions. I'd love to see photos. I mean,
we got to think about this too. Bears are not going to kill just to kill.
Yeah.
Not a deer anyway.
Right.
If they're going to kill a deer, they're going to eat it.
But they will hide it and come back.
Yeah, they'll bury it.
Well, and depending on what it had to do to take that deer down now is a different story too. Now, if a fight ensued and the bear had to exert some energy, lots of energy, well, that could happen.
But if this was, and again, was this something that, happened on more than one occasion? Did the bear find himself, but see, I don't know.
The locked door is what's bothering me. The locked door.
Well, and nothing else being tore up. That bothers me too. The head on top of the refrigerator, that bothers me.
Yeah.
So I don't see it being a bear. I really don't.
I think it's something that had a purpose. There was a purpose to this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't say it was a Dogman, because the description of the tracks are kind of vague. We heard
4 toes. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it 3 or was it 4? Because, and it doesn't really matter, because we've heard reports of both being Bigfoot related.
Mm-hmm.
And the smell, there's a lot of things that kind of scream Bigfoot here, not Dogman.
Maybe it was a Bigfoot he saw on the 4 legs and ran into the woods. Misidentification.
See, that's what I'm thinking too.
That's a possibility.
There's Bigfoot are in Wexford. Obviously, mine was in Wexford.
Yeah. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that than I would a Dogman.
The thing that brought me to thinking Dogman, and he didn't really call it, and I just may name it Dogman of Wexford, but here's the thing. We all hear the things about Dogman just like he wanted to scare the crap out of people. For whatever reason, right? They just love to terrify people from the accounts we've had, people we've talked to on the shows, right? And this is something that would terrify me. I mean, I think back in the day, I'd have thought of some sicko true crime serial killer did it just to, get at
or the next up and coming serial killer for sure.
Yeah, because as you talk about your serial killers, they mutilate animals.
It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of, it could go either way, honestly. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Bigfoot thing, because there's nothing tore up in there. This thing was placed purposely. Maybe it wasn't to terrify the guy. Maybe he was just, could have been a gift. Could have been a gift.
Yeah, I'll pass on that gift. But
Even the nest or structure that you talked about.
yeah, and I don't know.
That relates more to Bigfoot than it is really Dogman.
You never hear about Dogman building nests for the most part, right? It's usually
I've heard of Dogman being in the same nest or structure with Bigfoot.
Oh wow!
I don't necessarily buy it, but that's neither here nor there, really. I mean, what we're talking about is what perpetrated this act, and I with the structure. The nothing being tore up, the smell, the getting in the locked door and everything like that. I don't know. I'm.
It's not really saying Dogman to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Bigfoot. I don't think it's a bear.
I don't think it's a wild animal for one though, because like you said, if a wild animal gets caught in your shed or inside a smaller dwelling, they're ripping the hell out of it. That refrigerator should not have been standing. It should have been torn through on the ground. The whole, especially Brandy, I know you were thinking this. How do you get out if the door's shut and swing back and got locked? Was there a mechanism where it opened up from inside? Some have those, some don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did it even get in and get out? And to me, it just would have crashed through it, tore the door off the hinges. I mean, to open it, it had to think. It had to use thinking to boom, lift up the latch. Because I can picture what the door looks like, the latch. Anyway. So but yeah, and the thing that is known here in the Wexford is Dogman and Bigfoot are both around there, and pretty heavily actually. So I think we squashed the Dogman theory. Brandy,
I think so.
Monica,
I think so.
What you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Bigfoot. That's what I'm thinking.
Sounds
Just
Monica
because of
thinking
the
we're all
smell,
so
the
fat.
structure, the whole 9 yards. That's just screaming Bigfoot. Now I don't know about the track. See, that's what's throwing me off a little bit.
Me too. 3-toed,
Not me.
4-toed.
Not me.
The combination of a set of 3 toes, a set of 4 nails. I mean, that we've seen pictures of 3-toed, right, Tex? I mean, that's
Right.
really the internet. Still undetermined if that's even fake, right? I mean, we don't really.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, look at the Falk monster. That area right there is known for 3-toe tracks. Around the Falk area. So 3 toes, 4 toes. People can argue this point all they want, but I'm sorry, folks. There is going to be some inbreeding going on. There's injuries. These things are walking around in the freaking wild. There's injuries. So, we don't know what the tracks look like. We don't know what the shape of the tracks were. There's a lot of unanswered questions.
Henry asks, Monica, what are you thinking?
I think it's a Bigfoot. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. If it was, between Bigfoot and Dogman, I just don't see a Dogman doing something like that. I could see it if the deer were like positioned like directly out his back door, let's say.
Right.
I could see something like that. Or if it were hanging, its head was hanging on a stick in the tree and its body was all over the yard, something to like really get the guy. But this seems more like, I don't know.
It
does seem more like a Bigfoot, and the structures seem more like a Bigfoot for sure. Because I mean, I've seen videos of people finding similar things.
Right. Well, and here's another thing. Why did it take a deer into the same shed that this guy had a freezer in?
Yeah. Or
a refrigerator. It sounds like to me that it had been observing him, and he's taken food into that building. So whatever this was, maybe it thought, well, hell, that's he puts it there. Maybe that's where I'll put it.
I think that's a good point. Maggie briefly says face eaters, the gugwe. I've heard of the gugwe with the 3 toes. I've heard. I don't know how accurate that is.
I could just see that Bigfoot walking in there. Hey, dude, can you throw this in the freezer for me?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I
Stash this for later.
I can see that being
I'll,
a commercial.
I'll split the backstrap with you. Here you go, buddy.
yeah.
That's-
Exactly.
You know, the purpose behind doing this shows what I love about people send me these things in. There's so many details that are missing. And half the time I'll make an attempt to call because I'll have a question asked. And they sometimes respond, sometimes they don't. But that's why I like trying to piece it together. It's kind of a mystery, like a puzzle, right? So I think it's kind of fun. But yeah. But I think that all Bigfoot tendencies. Again, probably misidentification, whatever creature you saw at the wood line, right? I would imagine. Because we don't have wolves here. I know that. Not in that part.
Well, and he really doesn't describe what he saw.
No. Which I thought was cool because a lot of people go out of their way and they'll say it looked like a demon, a dog, this and that. And the guy really didn't see anything other than the only thing he knows physically he saw was the tracks, the hut, eviscerated deer, head on top of a refrigerator, tracks from about his house, and something from the wood line peering in at him. Early one Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a great start to your weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, imagine the cleanup.
Right.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Brand.
I was just going to say, I'm just convinced that it's probably Bigfoot. Just
Sure,
because of the mannerisms that we've heard from story after story after story about a Bigfoot encounter. It's just saying that that's what it is.
You know, maybe we ought to do a spinoff of Truth or Tinfoil, Dogman or Bigfoot.
Oh gosh,
Cryptid, or
Cryptid or crazy.
Yeah,
Human or cryptid?
Well, the next show we're going to do is going to be about the hybrid aliens being birthed by Dogman.
Oh, geez. No.
Is Bigfoot the midwife?
Just when I thought
Oh.
human hybrids were creepy. Here we go.
Well, we may have to get the Pope of the Church of Dogman involved in that one. Donnie may have to show.
The Church of Dog.
Yeah, Donnie Cho says stuff.
He does.
The high priest for the Church of Dogman. Well, I had a lot of fun, you guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everybody for coming on in. We're going to wrap it up, I think. It's getting close to 2:00 here.
Yep.
I'm still going to be up a little while. I want to thank Texas Front Porch for the super sticker. Keith from Michigan for the super sticker. Two Shadows gifting 5 Bigfoot Michigan Round memberships.
Arr.
Always appreciated. Love all you guys. Subscribe to Texas Front Porch on YouTube. The Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube. Of course, good old BMR. And you know what? Donnie Cho says stuff. I tell you what, you want some entertainment? Look up Donnie Cho. He says stuff, and boy, does he say stuff. Anything goes with Donnie Cho. You know how
Anything
we're talking.
goes.
His people, whenever he gets monetized, we got the Porchers, the Pirates. Well, we got the Booze. We might have to do that. Donnie's people are going to be called the Chosens. The Chosens.
I tell you what. Let's do this. Me and Brandy don't have a guest for Monday. How about y'all? How about y'all two join us on the porch?
I'm tied up. Yeah. Yes, I'll come on. Anything for Tex. I'll come on Monday.
Yes.
Yes. This time, Tex, it's your turn to tell stories.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I love stories.
I do. I like the story shows. I do. I dig them. I'm glad we're doing this on Saturdays for everybody, and people like them.
I've got a white Dogman encounter we can talk about.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, good. It's not the one that's about the demonic dog that I did before, right? Okay, good. Might be a cousin.
Somebody let William out.
Yeah.
So
So we'll talk about the white dog man.
Bigfoot must be destroyed, Dottie Show.
Yeah.
I love Dottie.
Story time with Tex.
Yeah. I'll make sure I have my PJs on. It's gonna be 98 degrees. So I'll be blasting the AC.
PJ party Monday night. Tex front
Yeah.
porch.
Yeah.
Story time with Tex.
That's right. Texas is a good story.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. Each of us has to bring a story to the table. Monday.
No, Lord.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, Tex. I'll
Find one. I'll find a good one somewhere.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm gonna find something obscure.
I like it.
Yeah, something weird. And
Yeah.
get really weird with it
We're really gonna do a deep
Yeah.
dive, Monica Rollins. We're gonna do a deep dive.
on me.
I like to get inside your head. I like to know where that came from, and I loved it. I love your thoughts. It was good. That was
Yeah, there's a lot of
thought
them.
provoking for sure. Like Brandy said, I'm gonna be thinking about that until 4 a.m.
That's
used-
going to be
I
your
used
new
to-
show, Deep Thoughts with Monica.
Yeah. I
Deep
used
thoughts.
I used to call my narrations textiles.
Textiles. Well, there you go.
Oh, well, that's I like that. I did like how you did coin the phrase "become a" what is it?
Paranormal porch pirate.
pirate. If y'all join all of our
Paranormal Porch
shows.
Pirate.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thanks you guys for coming in. Thanks to each and every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Yeah, it was a great time. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody in Alabama we met. I'm closing the door on that chapter. It's done. It's over with. New week is starting on Monday when I welcome the 100-degree heat. And this
Yeah.
ain't Texas here either. Go figure.
We haven't hit it. We haven't even hit 100.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Got
He-
Yeah,
But,
we're there.
And y'all don't forget to tune in because I'll have more information about Brown Springs. I promise.
Oh, yeah, good. We can
Okay.
start with that, I imagine.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you, Tex, Monica, Brandy, and for those three lovely people, I'm BMR. Until next time, we're out.